Hello friends, welcome back to virtual Java sessions. In till now in exception handling part 1 we discussed about what is exceptions, what are the advantages of exception handling, and like what is the mechanism of exception handling over there. First of all, we need to learn now about that is, what do you mean by throw? What is the use of throw? There is throw and throws keyword are there. Throw and throws. So first of all, we need to discuss about throw and throws. In exception handling, throw is used for throwing object of an exception conditionally out of try block. First of all, understand this what it means, right? Basically, if you have a try block and within that try block if you have a code, right? Now Java runtime environment, if any exceptions are there, then Java runtime environment will create an object of that exceptions, right? Just like let us say if any arithmetic exceptions occur, then Java runtime environment will develop an object of arithmetic exception. And that anonymous object will be thrown out, or that will be thrown out of the try block, and the catch block adjacent to that will, as it is arithmetic exceptions object is thrown out, right? So the catch block will catch that, and finally the statement become arithmetic exception AE equals to new arithmetic exceptions. So in this manner the object of arithmetic exceptions get initialized, right? And here to print what exactly the exceptions occurred, you can use AE dot print stack trace. What is print stack trace? Print stack trace, because here you can use two ways you can able to print the object of exceptions: system dot out dot println and exception, and you can print the object of exceptions over here. Here in this case you will come to know what exception is raised, but at what line number that exception broke down. At the same time, like how the control get transferred to that particular line, and how the further lines will be affected. That entire stack operations will not be because basically now, like control comes from, first of all it uses a call to the main, then from main it goes to the method body, and then from method body it goes to the some another so that like sequence of calling is called as stack operations, right? So by just printing which exception is raised won't serve the purpose, so we need an entire stack operation to be printed over there. For that reason, in the exception class they had provided you the method called as print stack trace. So as exception class is a super class of all the exceptions, so all the exceptions raised are become the subclass of it. So the object of subclass can refer to the method of a superclass over there. What I said, I will repeat it again. Exception is a class which is on the top of the hierarchy. So whatever the exceptions raised, that all the exceptions become the subclass of the exceptions. So in the exception class there is a method called as print stack trace. So instead of printing the object of exceptions, if you can give a call to the, by using the object of subclass exceptions, if you can give a call to the print stack trace, then it will print the entire stack operations of performed while exception handling over there. So better way of like in the catch block, better way of, instead of printing the object of exceptions, if you can use a print stack trace method, that will be the better options over there. Next we have to learn why and when we have to use throw. For example, if you have, like, let's say this is your try block, and now in the prior code what we discussed, if Java runtime environment found any exceptions, then it will throw out of the try block. But here if you need, let's say if this is the condition, if A not equals to B, right, then throw new arithmetic. I'm just taking one example over there. Means here in this case, if this condition if this condition is satisfied, then throw this, right? Means like here Java runtime environment is not trapping an exceptions, right? Here user want to throw that exceptions conditionally out of the try block. In the above case, if any exceptions raised in the code, then Java runtime environment will develop an anonymous object of exceptions and throw out of the try block. So here it's not a conditional throw, right? But here in this case there is no exceptions over there as such. Java runtime environment won't find any exceptions available or exceptions raised. User want to conditionally throw that object of exceptions, so he will create the object of exceptions and throw conditionally out of the try block over there. Like let's say else if something A more than equal to 50, whatever the condition is there, then you want to throw new, like any interrupted exception, right? Or else if B not equals to 100, then throw number format exception. Now what we understand by this, that here by default Java runtime environment is not capable of like trapping any exceptions over there, or there is any exceptions raised over there. But user want to throw that exceptions conditionally. By default, if any exceptions are not raised, nothing to worry about. Or like in that situations, user or a developer want to, if this condition not satisfied, then conditionally throw these exceptions, right? So this is what is the use of throw. Right? What is throw? Throw is useful for, throw is a keyword which is useful for throwing an object of exceptions conditionally out of the try block, right? And then we understand, and then obviously when you throw the object of these exceptions out of the try block, you need to catch them respectively, right? Then the next thing we need to discuss about throws. Actually, throw and throws are look like a singular and plural, right? Means like one can say that for throwing, because throw is capable of throwing exceptions, and throws may be throwing the multiple exceptions, but that is not the case, because you cannot throw multiple exceptions at a time out of the try block. Understand my point? It's like throws is not useful for throwing multiple exceptions out of try block, because try block is capable of throwing only one exception at a time. So what is the use of throws then? Actually, throws means like, if let's understand that means like this is wrong statement, like if A not equals to B, then if you are expecting like this, throws arithmetic exception, comma, number format exception, right? It's like throw is singular and throws is plural, then it's a completely wrong statement. This is not the case, right? You cannot throw multiple object of exceptions at a time out of the try block. Now what is the use of throws? Throws is not useful for these reasons. If let us say you are writing a method called as f1, right? Public void f1, and you want to state that you want to declare that this in this particular method definition it may throws multiple exceptions, right? Throws arithmetic exception, comma, number format exception, comma, array index out of bounds exception, and many more, and then the definitions, right? So wherever you are testing it, wherever you are testing this method, you must put in the try block, right? If you are calling to this method, then you must put in the try block and catch all the exceptions which that method is raising, right? Just understand the things again. What I am saying now, I am going to explain you the purpose of throws. Throw we understand. What is the use of throw? It's throw the object of exception conditionally out of the try block. Means deliberately user want to throw and user want to create and throw the object of exceptions out of try block, then throw is used. And what is the use of throws then? Throws is actually used for not throwing multiple exceptions out of try block at a time, because you cannot throw the multiple exceptions at a time out of the try block. Then what is the use of throws? If you are any method, any user defined method or any user defined class you are defining, and there you want to state that that particular class or that particular method is throwing more than, obviously any one method can throw multiple exceptions over there, right? So if you want to define that public void f1 throws arithmetic exceptions, number format exceptions, array index out of bound exceptions, and many more, it is quite possible that within that class or within that method multiple processes are defined, and that multiple processes may raised n number of exceptions over there. So this is while defining that class, while defining that method, you have to use a keyword called as throws, because that class, that method may throw more than one type of exceptions, and while using such classes or the methods, then compulsory you need to catch all the possible exceptions over there, right? Hope you understand the difference between throw and throws. Throws an object of exceptions conditionally out of try block, right? Not by default, and that is then we are using throw. But the purpose of throw, though it is look like a singular and plural, but as I said, you cannot throws multiple objects of exception at a time or a try block. So throws can be used for the documentation reason. It means while defining a class, while defining a method, if you want to state that this class or this method is maybe raised more than one type of exceptions, in that case, like that class throws exception 1, exception 2, exception 3, exception 4, as many as you can, and then while testing that class or the method, you have to catch that all the possible exceptions, right? Hope you understand the difference between throw and throws, right? Now till now we discuss about how to handle the exceptions, what are the advantages of handling exceptions, and the use of throw and throws. Now let us discuss some of the popular exceptions. As I said, exception is a class defined by Java which is at the top of the hierarchy, and all the exceptions classes, right, are actually subclasses of the exceptions over there. So just like the exceptions are like class not found exceptions. Now this exception is raised when the specific class is not found in the library and all, right? Illegal access exception, if you try to access that particular class and which is not accessible, sort of, right? You want to try to access that particular file and which is not accessible. In such situations, illegal access exceptions will be raised. Instantiation exceptions, like if you try to create an object of that particular class which is not able to instantiate. Like for example, if you have an abstract class, and if you try to create the object of that particular abstract class, then instantiation exceptions will be raised. Then interpreted exceptions, like here in this case, if you are using a threading code, we will be discussing in the next sessions about the threading and all. So interpreted exception will be raised. No such field exception, no such method exceptions, right? Runtime exceptions, array index about exceptions, arithmetic exceptions, class cast exceptions, negative array size exceptions, null pointer exceptions, number format exceptions, security exceptions, single index out of bounds exceptions. These are all like some of the exceptions which are already predefined in the Java library that I'm trying to explain to you, right? So what is the base theory about exception handling? Exception handling is a good programming practice, because basically if any runtime logical bug occurred in the systems, if you're not able to handle it, then that unhandled exceptions will cause a severe damage to the systems, and it may crash the systems. You may lost everything, and worse damage will be occurred to the systems. So to avoid that worse damage, if you want to convert that abrupt terminations and abnormal terminations to the normal terminations, then they will recommend the exception handling code that is called the mechanism of a try, catch, like finally block over there. Then we discuss some of the examples like single try, multiple catch, nested try and all. And after that we discuss the difference between the throw and throws. Throws the object of exception conditionally out of the try block, and throws can be used for the documentation reasons, that if any one class or any one method is going to throw more than one exception, then throws is used over there, right? Now we have to learn about the last part of exception handling, that is user defined exceptions. Up till now, we had discussions about predefined exceptions like number format, arithmetics, and all illegal access and all. These are the predefined exceptions. But if user want to create or develop its own exception class, what he can do then? Nothing to worry about. What you have to do, you have to create like let's say class my exception, right? As I said, every exceptions is a subclass of exceptions. So class my exceptions, we extend it from the exception. Right? What you have to do, you write the class, define the class, and extend it from the exceptions, right? And then you write the like let's say you define string message for exceptions, and then you define the constructor of that particular exception class, maybe default, and str equal to some message, right? And maybe the parameterized one. Now here in this case we created our own exceptions, so obviously it's a user defined exceptions, so it will not be Java runtime environment will not capable of handling the exceptions. So if whenever there is any you want to raise certain exceptions, then you test it using a conditional branching. You throw it conditionally through new my exception, right? So means you have to conditionally generate that object of exceptions, right? Else if b not equal to or then c, then through new my exception, and then whatever the exception data over there. Now just try to understand what I'm trying to explain to you, that like predefined exceptions, developer can create their own exceptions, like and such exceptions called as user defined exceptions. So you have to create a class for exceptions and get it extend from the exceptions, and then you define the because what is the exception actually? It throws the it warns you by some messages. So you have a string data and you have a default constructor and a parameter constructor. And if obviously Java runtime environment can able to create the object of exceptions about predefined exceptions only, but in case of user defined exceptions, it has to be conditionally throw the object of exceptions over there. So whether it's a default one or the parameter is one, that you have to decide, and in this manner user can able to create the user defined exceptions as well, right? So this is what about all the exceptions over there. I'll be giving you all the tested examples regarding the exceptions with this particular session to you, right? Thank you.